Hey, what's happening? Happy Friday to everybody. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, this is going to be a completely from my heart, from the gut video. Let me say this. Views go up and down. I know this. And sometimes when I see views go down, my views have gone down a little bit and my subscribers are going up. How that works, I have no idea. But let me tell you this, a lot of days I'll spend a few hours working on video, and it comes down to just the words. A lot of times it comes down just to the 6 or 7 words I pick for the title that will determine whether somebody will watch the video or not. And it can be frustrating sometimes. When my views go down, I have a tendency, as I do today, to just go to say, you know what, screw it. A lot of days, if I'm the monetization, the views are up, I'm making money and everything, and I want to keep everything on track. But if the views go down, I have less to lose, and I'm a lot more open, a lot more blunt with my feelings. So you're in for a little treat today, because the views are down, and I'm just going to say what's on my mind today. All right. The ruling by the Supreme Court. The way I understand this, the Supreme Court is 6-3, 6 conservatives, 3 liberals. They put down a ruling that people can open carry, and I know that states have their own laws. I'll get into that in a second. I'm not a legal scholar, but let me just go over this. Okay, so the Supreme Court. It looks like they snuck this in. It looks like, because there's a lot of gun laws that are about this close to, I think the main after Uvalde, the main gun laws that are going to be passed are right on the edge, going to the Senate. And to me, it looks like the Supreme Court just kind of slipped this in real quick to appease the far right and gun-loving enthusiasts. That's what it looks like to me. So they handed down this ruling that people can open carry for their own protection. First thing that comes to mind, like I said, I'm not a constitutional scholar here, but the way I understand the Second Amendment, it's the right to form militias to protect yourselves against a tyrannical government. That's the main point of owning firearms in the Second Amendment. Let me know if I'm getting this wrong. It's not protecting yourself when you're in a road rage incident or you're at Stop and Shop and you see somebody sketchy. So you want to be, you got to have your peace on you. That doesn't, a tyrannical government isn't going to pop up when you're at McDonald's or you're driving down the road in your car So this is a whole different thing. To me, no good could come of this. To me, these people are carrying just to intimidate other people, and that's the last thing we need in this country right now. That's my gut reaction on this. Let me get into it a little more. I wanted to see, because I saw there's a lot of articles. I'll put the links down below. New York, New Jersey are very concerned. When I was younger, I used to go down to New York City a lot, and I inherited firearms from my father, all sorts of firearms, and I never ever would bring any weapon down to New York City, because I knew that if you carried a handgun in New York City, you would go to jail for a year, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I made damn sure that I was never carrying anything, or nobody in the car was ever carrying any kind of, because I knew how strict their laws were. This was back 20, 30 years ago. Okay. Now, New York is very worried. There's a lot of articles from New York and New Jersey are very worried about just incidents of violence popping up, especially, with the volatile situation today, road rage incidents and God knows what else. And I agree with them. So I looked up Connecticut. Now, Connecticut has some of the strongest gun laws in the country. I got a link down. I'll put a link down below. William Tong, our Attorney General. And I guess our laws are a little more solid, but more than likely, there's still going to be a lot of legal challenges due to this Supreme Court, this far-right Supreme Court ruling. And I just watched this video by our Attorney General. He says, Connecticut is going to be a firewall to stop this spread of open carry stuff and challenges to our gun laws here. Because they, believe it or not, if you look it up in Connecticut, they have worked. I don't care what anybody that lives on the other side of the country that that's a MAGA supporter thinks that they don't work. Look it up here in Connecticut. It's worked since Newtown. And the majority of people here are not for this. This is not the Wild West here in this area of the country. All right, now let me get into my gut feeling. I remember walking into Dunkin' Donuts. I probably told you guys about this before. I was sitting down with my mother at Dunkin' Donuts, and a guy walked in short. He didn't look like, having dealt with sketchy people for over 2 decades, when I was using, I could spot sketchy people, and this guy looked sketchy. And he was open carrying. He was with a girl. And they went up to the counter, and the girl was facing the cashier ordering. Well, the guy stood the other way around with his back to the cashier, facing everybody sitting out in the seating area. And he just was scanning with this intimidating look, and his holster here. And what, it scared the bejesus out of me. I'm with my mother, and this is what I fear. Going into Stop and Shop and seeing these people just walking down the aisle with God knows what strapped to their back or their waist. It's this area of the country. This isn't cool here. To me, that says somebody that's insecure, somebody that's looking to intimidate other people. Let me tell you, I wasn't going to tell you guys this, but I remember this specifically. I remember getting in a big fight with 5 guys, just me. I broke my nose, my eye bones, and everything, my cheekbones, my orbital disc, and I took a lot of martial arts classes after that because I was feeling very scared and insecure after getting the bejesus beat out of me by 5 or 6 guys. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot of different techniques similar to Krav Maga and some other techniques, some really scary to the point methods. And I remember, because I was feeling insecure, I remember riding on a bus, and there were people sitting all around me, young, old, women, men. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? If I wanted to right now, I could just do this to this guy, and I could do this to this guy, and boom, boom, boom. And I probably could have at that point. I was in my early 20s, and it scares me because looking back, I knew that was because of my insecurity, But I remember, and I don't think I would do it, but I remember having those thoughts, and I could picture people that are insecure carrying these guns, getting in a road rage incident, because God knows these happen every single day around here. You see, it's always guys, always men about between late 20s to early 60s, probably on a daily basis, getting into fist fights on the streets in Connecticut, at least, all the time. What's going to happen when one of these guys gets out and is strapped? What's going to happen when the guy wearing the MAGA hat runs into the guy wearing the Joe Biden shirt in the supermarket, and some looks are exchanged and they're both strapped? What's going to happen then? I don't see this as a good thing. Let me tell you this, too. This is where I really go out on a limb here. When I saw that guy in Dunkin' Donuts, I was so tempted to approach him. Remember, if you guys go back to a couple of weeks after the election, I was alone, and I made this split decision with my adrenaline pumping to walk in by myself to the middle of a Stop the Steal rally, surrounded by a couple hundred Trump supporters. And when the national anthem played, I took a knee. And I knew I was going to get probably jumped. And I just saw myself doing it like almost, it's almost surreal. And I could see myself doing this. I could see this happening. If I see somebody in a supermarket open carrying, it'll scare me. It'll scare me to the point where I want to confront it. And I could see myself going up to somebody that's open carrying, and asking him, what is wrong with you? Why are you so insecure? Why are you carrying that? Why do you feel the need to have that kind of power over everybody else in this store? I just don't think that. I don't believe in this good guy with the gun thing. After what happened in Uvalde, with the pure cowardice and lack of decision, everything that happened there, the whole good guy with the gun thing goes right out the window. I think a lot of these people that are going to open carry will run or hide under a box of Cheerios or whatever. I don't have confidence in the good guy with the gun thing. I think they're carrying just to intimidate other people. I think the majority of them are weak people. They don't have confidence in themselves and their own alpha manliness or whatever. Okay, now there's going to be people that say, well, Daryl, why do you lift weights? And I'll be honest, I do. At my height at 6'3" and lifting weights, I do see that people treat me differently. I've seen this a couple times. I've seen it on the streets. I've seen a car full of kids go by and yell at one guy on a bike, this overweight guy, and then they came by me, and none of them said a word, man. You know, and I do see that I'm treated differently, but it's a whole different thing. I think it's the right way to go. If you're feeling insecure about your self-defense, about your security, that doing something health-wise, like lifting weights or exercise, will give you more confidence in yourself, and in turn, it will give you a more of an air of respect among other people, as opposed to open carry, which I think is just. I don't see why these people feel the need to have the power of life and death over everybody around them, because that's how I feel when I see somebody open carrying. Why does this person, at the drop of a hat, this person has the power to take everything I have away from me if he so decides that he doesn't like the way I look? Because that's the truth of the matter. And I don't like it, and I'm probably, knowing myself, I'm probably going to do something about it if I see it happen here. I will approach and debate people that are open carrying. You can probably count on that in future videos. Have a good Friday.